You guys thought this day would never come, and to be honest, I had no plans on making this happen. You are used to seeing this at best, but check out what we have. Yeah, that's right. The beginning of a new body. Well, we're in the middle of working on all the 3-rotor stuff. That's cool. That car is what it is, but it's the 4-rotor that we all really, truly want to see the progress on. And the guys from Battle Arrow are here to make that next step. So the guys came over yesterday, so it's only been a day, and they're already working on the fenders. The goal is to have the rear fenders molded and made proper, because it's the simplest, smallest place to start. And then we have them tackle the front fenders, and then finally the front bumper. The goal is to do those in phases. We'll let them explain more about how this works, but they're doing something a little bit more advanced than I was expecting to do. I was originally just gonna add glass and Bondo and then rewrap it and see what we get. They are gonna take us into the digital age. What I had given them last night, literally last night, was the scan we had made about a year ago on the body, and that's never changed. The actual car underneath has. It's a wonderful first place to start.
Pretty much just starting out with getting all of the original contours of the scan before we start pulling everything out and making all the adjustments and everything like that.
That's without any real input from me other than just kind of understanding what the client needs or the customer needs. What we're going to go through next is a handful of different things that we have to try to accomplish all with one fender. Because it's just a fender, but you got to deal with the fact that this door is coming in this way. Where do you bring it in here, and how does it curve? And then creating that lip, but then not making it look like a diaper full of shit. And if you bring the whole thing out all the way and cover the whole tire, now it just looks like some sort of cowl, and it doesn't look sexy. We've got a lot of things to juggle all with that, so that way it doesn't look overburdened. So now that we've got the first rough rendering of what the final fender will look like, we now have to tie it back into the real world, and we're gonna have to remove the shock and jack the tire up. We'll swap back to the race tire, put it all the way up to here. Those guys are gonna scan it, because that scan came from years ago before any of the rear existed. So that way they can see that, hey, the tire comes all the way up to here and is out here, and then the fender now has to accommodate for that. We'll give them the data they need to make an even better model.
Shit.
Nice. Stop there. This is 1400 horsepower launching. You can actually see that it makes sense. There's where it rubbed. That's the maximum it can go. It would have gone higher if it could, so that really is where the suspension maxes out.
Oh, these are like markers for it should align.
This is the new livery. 2021's a weird year.
Scan.
Okay.
You want to like scan the wheels, so this is fully compressed, you see it's touching. Here is at ride height, so you see the gap is a little bit better. So we're going to model it off that.
Yeah, that works, and that's the range. That is nuts. This is the beginning of our next step, right? It looks exactly like what you designed. Exactly what we sat down and did. You can see that part right there. You can definitely tell it's wider. You can definitely tell it's covering the fender.
Yeah, and the last couple changes that we made here,
Yeah.
flatten this portion out and
Yes,
thinning
yeah,
everything
brought
out.
that, smooth that in. It smells. This is a prototype that only 5 days ago, was simply just a drawing on a computer. We got really far with the original plans. This is back from 2015, 2016. I bought a Rocket Bunny kit. Many of you that know me really well know I do not like Rocket Bunny, but it was functional. It got the distance we needed to go, but even then, we're still on the rears, another 1.5 inches out wider than the Rocket Bunny kit, so that wasn't gonna work. We did get blessing from the guys that build Rocket Bunny to try and work off of it, but that's not what my dream was. My dream was to take the stock FD and make it crazy. When it came to making this fender, one of the biggest things I wanted to do was, again, take the stock FD and turn it into something nuts. It takes a lot more work to make it simple. It's hard to believe, but it's easy to add square lines. It's easy to add over fenders. It's easy to do that. It's hard to make it look right, to be honest. And especially with the FD. The FD body is a timeless body. And so these guys have done an insane job at taking that timeless body and modernizing it just a little bit more with how wide this car actually is. So we are about to cut the rest of the crap off the car and start making this thing look right. Now, this is a prototype. This is something that I did not realize was capable of being done very quickly and reasonably priced. And so what happens is this allows us to see the car as we dream it and then refine it from there. What you'd consider imperfections, this is being rapid. This is truly a fast process, faster than I ever imagined. So I want to introduce some of the guys that were involved in making this happen. I'll give you guys your baby back.
I'm Rich. I do composite prototyping at Battle Arrow. I'm Gio. I'm the one that helped design this.
These guys not only did the physical glass work, but also the digital work, which I will tell you right now, I'm a computer guy. I own a computer company, and I did not think that we would be able to represent the car digitally as well as Gio did. And so he and I spent we had a couple visits just because I'm a very particular customer. And every time he nailed exactly what I was looking for. We would cover a lot of different things that this car functionally needs. So this form follows the function. And the function is that this tire needs to be able to slam up into the fender when the car accelerates. It needs to be able to look good when it's at ride height. That it needs to look right, look smooth. No straight lines. These guys know that I will not have a straight line on the stock FD.
This is obviously very rough still.
Yeah.
But this is kind of like an idea of where it gets to after some
nice.
love and attention.
So I machined the foam mold, and then from here it becomes this, and then Richard does his magic and becomes that.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So it still comes from the 3D process.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the whole team result. But what we're going to do right now is we're going to zip off the parts that are in the way because the fender cracked over time, and loading, going on the dyno and all that, so you can see it's kind of cracked. So we're going to cut that part off, and then we'll just simply, I guess, tape it for now. We'll just tape it to here and just get the first look of how it looks. Hella flush. No, just kidding. how it looks at ride height.
Definitely, like, all this needs to come off.
So yeah, this can go, but we have to figure out how far over.
Yeah. Let's see how far it goes. Maybe like about 3 inches. Just kind of taper it off of this line.
You let me know. I love cutting this car apart. So I bought this thing solely for the purpose of cutting this car apart. I've used this way too many times already, and the body's still mostly there. I'm gonna fix it right now.
Yeah. Let's come either like that or even maybe a little bit lower.
Okay.
Just kind of straight that way. Just bring it in like maybe another like half inch or so. We need a little bit more trimming on this bottom right here. Just kind of right in there. It's just hitting on this corner, but once we get out here, it should all clear.
Right here, while we're working on the body, it's time to replace the rear hatch of the car. Two of the guys from kind of the RX-7 groups on Facebook got together and got a new rear piece of glass for this car. I didn't know you were going to be bringing a repo.
How's it going, guys?
Yeah, how are you, man?
All right, dude.
Come on, Rob.
I have a delivery. Someone ordered a hatch.
Yeah.
It has arrived.
I used to own a repo, and I disrespected it. I let it go, and I regret every bit of it.
That's why I got this one, so I could disrespect it. Everyone told me to tell you not to break this one.
No promises. This is just insane. What we saw on his computer and the way he rendered it is exactly how it's looking in person. All those angles I was looking for, I see them happening in real life just like they were on his computer. So this is so sick.
Stock body right there.
Yeah.
It's still in there.
There's my baby. I just want to point out that I'm the one that's choosing to do the fiberglass work this fast just because I want to get that out of the way for them, but they wouldn't do it like this. I'm just the one who wants to cut and not wear breathing protection. There's 2 tools in there. Go until the control arm looks flat.
Pretty much close it flat.
Okay, we'll stop there. That is actually how the car sits at ride height. Let's see what happens when we're 1,400 horsepower, losing to the unicorn, but at least still hauling ass. That's epic. Oh yeah, I had my finger on the inside just in case, but I can't believe that's hidden. There's that much tuck hidden in what looks so low profile to me. It already looked like it was slammed, but it just kept going. Oh my God. Pulling wheelies. That's what it looked like in the rear. That looks like I'm cheating it. Like it looks like, okay, well, it's not really that. That's ride height, and it still had all that shock hidden in there. These are the most important lines to me of the FD, because everything else is just jelly bean, but they did some beautiful things, especially the transitions right there. And so Gio did this. He brought that back. As we move forward up the car, we've got this transition and we've got this nice long sweeping one, paying homage to the car that inspired all this. Really, this area here is probably one of the hardest challenges, is because tires out here, stock doors here, we're not going to be adding anything to the stock door. Inevitably have this really aggressive curve here, bringing this into it. This is the later, but you see it forming. You really see FD on steroids. Wow. First one that they did was like a true, like real rough, high prototype.
Is that mahogany?
This is a step more refined. Cedar. This is one step higher, and they're gonna have to explain more about it because I don't know the differences between those.
This is the mold, and there's the new part.
Whoa. Whoa.
See how the body line's a bit better?
Yeah. It's a reusable mold, right?
Yeah, we can do a few pulls out of this. We're estimating we can get probably like 5 parts out of it.
Okay. I'll never crash the car, so.
It's a lot, but I mean, obviously this is great. It's a high tooling gel coat. It's like the main layer, and then it has like actual fiberglass for like reinforcement.
You know what I just realized? That won't fit on without making room for it. I wish Isaiah was here. These guys are all experts in their field, but we need a 4-rotor cutting specialist. One thing is we're going to be getting rid of the gas cap because that's
Fuck that gas cap.
Yeah. I had to wrap that thing. That part was one of the most difficult things to wrap.
Mark it and then come down 2 inches.
See. You can feel it right here. This side, the actual body is not centered to the car. You know what's really awesome about this? The car's finally symmetrical. You can't tell, you can't see both sides at once, but when you go to do the Larry Chen long shot and you see both sides of the car and it's not like this is epic. Both sides will be identical. It's gonna take a little bit of work to get the base back to normal. Only the finest. I want to point out that's of course the gas tank gap. That's not the mold, that's the gas tank, how it was molded in there. But look at where the body kit was put on weird. So you can see that the line here shows where this mountain underneath there. So we're gonna have to cut the shit out of this part, get it down, so that way the rest of this, you can see it, how it affects all of this down here. These are all trusted lines here. This is a trusted piece. This is literally identical to the other side. So now we kind of got to work and measure and get it to be equal on both sides. Whoa, there he is. Okay, I'm in control of the camera now. And it looks just as sexy as the other side. It's close. Yeah. Whoa. It'll move. This whole area is going to rotate the whole thing in. Mm-hmm. It's so hard to believe that is ride height. We tested it at ride height and full compression, and that tire just
Go full now.
okay. It's gonna go somewhere. It's got a little bit more to go, so it's down a little bit. I think this part actually comes up a little bit more. Basically, this whole area will go in.
You got a $100 bill? Who is this guy?
He looks like you.
No.
That's not you?
Nice.
The guys from Battle Hero are here to help put the fenders on. Not only do they make them, they also have all the guys in-house to help put them to the car. So they're going to work on the one that they made the more permanent mold from. Cut the inside of my car, whatever Bondo, 3 inches later, thick, doesn't matter. That stuff's getting all taken care of so that we have that fender molded in, and it is the same one on both sides. So enjoy what we're about to all watch together.
Jeez.
This is a little bit below ride height. I'm gonna bring it up. This is like 400 horsepower, 600, 800 horsepower, 1,000 horsepower, 1,400 horsepower, and who knows, 1,800. Maybe we'll crest up into 2,000. Wow, that is perfect. Do what you just did off camera. Yeah. That's so awesome.
It's shaking the entire car.
Yeah.
She's
At the
on
jack
there.
point now. This is a moment for the history books. This is the first time the final fenders have been mocked up onto the car. They're both on. I haven't looked myself. Yeah. Now this was their first prototype. They purposely made it rough to just try something very quickly. It was done in an afternoon essentially. And even then, look at that fitment. You can see it right there. And that is at ride height. I'm just gonna trim off a little bit just because the tire touches are down here. But, oh my God, you can see the car taking shape that quickly. I can already tell you, I'm gonna walk over here, I'm gonna tell you that the look of this car from here is spectacular. So these guys are hauling ass, and if anything, I'm the one slowing the process down. The guys from Battle Arrow need to see this in person. They've got the fender on the four rotor, but we're gonna show you just how much wider it is than the stock car.
Holy shit.
It looks like
Look at that.
when you're a Rocket Bunny kit and you like can't afford the new wheels. Put it in perspective, guys. This mounts on the four rotor to existing bodywork that's already outside of the stock body.
Can't even see the wheels if you look at it.
If you go on the back side, you see how much it sticks out.
Oh, geez.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and take this back to the shop and start blocking it down.